What if everything you believed about a place turned out to be completely wrong the moment you stepped off the plane? Most travelers expect Singapore to be just another small Southeast Asian island, quiet, simple and ordinary. But in 2025, one traveler discovered something that completely shattered that belief. What he found was not a tiny island, but an entirely different world, a world where futuristic technology blends seamlessly with deep cultural values, a world where order feels natural, safety feels effortless, and progress moves at a speed many nations can barely imagine. In this documentary-style exploration, infoSphere reveals why Singapore in 2025 is nothing like the tiny dot people think it is. Instead, it is a global powerhouse, a country that reinvented itself into one of the most advanced, efficient and fascinating societies ever created. This video breaks down the extraordinary experiences that shocked him, from the airport that feels like paradise, to the ultra-smart transportation systems, to the incredible cultural blend that exists nowhere else on Earth. As we dive into this story, imagine landing in a place where everything works, where everything shines, and where even a simple walk through the streets feels like stepping into the future. Imagine discovering a country so advanced that it makes even the most developed nations question their own choices. And imagine realizing that this so-called small island might just be one of the most influential players in the world today. So sit back, relax, and join us as we uncover the world he never expected, the world called Singapore. The airport that felt like another planet. When he arrived in Singapore, the shock began right at the airport. Changi Airport in 2025 wasn't just an airport, it was a city of its own. Instead of chaos, noise and long lines, he walked into a place that looked more like a five-star eco-resort. The air smelled fresh, the lighting was warm, the walking spaces were wide and perfectly organized. The Jewel, a massive glass dome at the center of Changi, housed the world's tallest indoor waterfall, falling gracefully from the ceiling like a scene from science fiction. It wasn't just beautiful, it was smart. The entire structure used advanced cooling systems to reduce energy consumption by more than 50%, proving that beauty and sustainability could coexist. Immigration was fast, efficient and friendly. Biometric scanners meant he didn't even need to take out a passport for long. Within minutes, he was through. No pushing, no waiting, no confusion. For him, this wasn't an airport. It was a first sign that Singapore had evolved far beyond the global standard. It was his first taste of a world where innovation wasn't optional, it was a way of life. The city that looked too perfect to be real. Stepping into Singapore's city centre, he felt like he was walking inside a utopian simulation. The streets were spotless, literally no trash, no plastic bottles, not even a randomly tossed chewing gum. The buildings rose like polished steel giants, reflecting the sky with a glow that made everything look almost unreal. Singapore's urban design in 2025 was the result of decades of extreme planning. Trees and greenery were not decorations, they were essential parts of architecture. Every building had rooftop gardens, vertical forests or hanging plants cascading along the sides. The government planned the city with such precision that even the shadows were designed to fall in ways that reduce heat on walkways. He soon realized that Singapore hadn't achieved this perfection by accident. The country invested more than 70% of its lands for public infrastructure, green living, and residential balance. The goal wasn't to build a city, it was to build a model for the future of human living, and this shocked him more than anything else. Singapore wasn't just clean, it was engineered to stay clean forever. Transportation from the future. When he used Singapore's transportation system, he almost laughed at how smooth everything was. Trains didn't arrive late, they arrived within seconds of their scheduled time. Buses were air-conditioned, spacious, and ran with the exact precision of the train system. Taxis were clean and respectful, never overcharging, never arguing, always professional. And then there were the autonomous vehicles. In 2025, Singapore had rolled out self-driving taxis in several districts, controlled by artificial intelligence systems that reduce accidents by more than 90%. Payments were cashless, routes were optimized, and everything was tracked for safety and efficiency. He quickly realized something powerful. Transportation wasn't just about moving people, it was about preserving their dignity, saving their time, and reducing national stress. In many countries, transport is chaotic. In Singapore, it was calm, predictable, and futuristic. A safety level that felt unreal. Here's where he truly felt like he was in a different world: the safety. Singapore's crime rate was so low that people walked around at 3 in the morning without fear. Children took public transport alone. Women walked comfortably at night. Tourists explored without worrying about theft, scams, or harassment. Singapore achieved this through a mix of strict laws, effective surveillance, community trust, and a culture that values respect. More than 80% of residents felt secure at all times, something many countries could only dream of. The traveler couldn't believe it. He had never experienced a place where safety felt woven into the environment itself. Food that redefined his idea of Asia. Singapore's food scene blew his mind. Hawker centers, open-air food courts filled with local stalls, were not only affordable but incredibly delicious. Dishes from Malaysia, China, India, Indonesia, and the West blended into a culinary paradise. Every stall followed strict hygiene rules, making the food both safe and unforgettable. He tried chicken rice, laksa, nasi lemak, biryani, chili crab, and dozens of other flavors. Each dish carried the story of Singapore's multicultural identity. It was here, in the hawker centers, that he understood something deep. Singapore wasn't one culture trying to coexist. It was many cultures living as one. A small country with a mega-power mindset. Even though Singapore is physically small, its mindset is enormous. The country invests heavily in education, technology, research, and global business. It has partnerships with major nations worldwide, runs one of the strongest financial sectors, and is home to thousands of multinational companies. He realized that Singapore's size was misleading. The country didn't aim to be big in land, it aimed to be big in influence. In 2025, Singapore played a key role in global economics, shipping routes, and Southeast Asian politics. For a nation smaller than many cities, this was extraordinary. By the time he left Singapore, he no longer saw it as a small island. He saw it as a new kind of world, a world built on discipline, intelligence, planning, and unity. A world that proved size doesn't limit greatness. A world that shocked him, inspired him, and changed his understanding of what a country can become. And now the question is for you. If one small island can build a future like this, what's stopping the rest of the world? Thank you for watching infoSphere. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Singapore, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next global story.